is, here's what we're going to do, here's how we beat Spirit, AC, Vineland, Millville, whoever it is. They're not looking for a reason to have any disrespect for somebody. And, my style is not to get over the top in anybody's face. I mean, I'm trying to maybe have a little more of a cerebral approach and talk them through some things and help them get the game, get the defensive side of things, get where they should go on offense, maybe to see where their scoring opportunities are, or whatever the case is. So, hopefully that's not the case. I don't think it is. But if you wanted the absolute answer, I mean, you'd have to ask one of those guys. Phil?
Who's your biggest rival this year? Who do you think you have a chance?
I guess that, from what I've seen in other sports, Ocean City seems to always be the big rival. Oddly enough, they're not a team that was on the regular season schedule. There's 3 divisions or conferences now, and they're not in ours. You do have a certain amount of games that sort of cross over, and we play different opponents from different conferences. You know that from soccer. Ocean City was not one. We had to work to get that game on the schedule because everyone wants to play that game. Holy Spirit, they've become quite a bit better in the last decade or so than Mainland has in basketball. The head-to-head, numbers would dictate that. So it's hard to say that's really a strong rivalry. When I played, that was by far and away the biggest rival in every sport: football, basketball, baseball, everything. It was Holy Spirit. But now I guess it's Ocean City, maybe EHT to some degree. And absolutely. I haven't seen EHT. I have seen a little bit of Ocean City. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee anything, but I expect those to be games that I know those are games we can win, and therefore I expect that we go in and play hard and put ourselves in a position where we're winning in the fourth quarter and hopefully close the deal. Yeah. Jim?
What makes a quality basketball team, and how do you obtain that?
You have to have, obviously, talent on the team. You got to start with a certain level of talent. The coaches need to help, I think, enhance the basketball IQ. We need to be able to figure out what are the strengths, what are our weaknesses, try and play to those strengths as much as is possible, and stay away from whatever the weaknesses are. And we need to also, as a staff, do things that will help to sort of gel the team. I think you could have 5 pretty good players that, for whatever reason, their skill sets don't mesh with one another, they don't like one another. Something's gone personal over the course of the season, and they just refuse to play with one another. We need to create a good environment that they like coming to practice and working hard with each other every day. Sort of maybe build this idea that we're kind of a big family, and it's us versus everybody else in the Cape Atlantic League. We're the underdog a little bit, if you will, because of our record the last few years. And hopefully we can do that. But, the team chemistry, the talent, and the coaches being able to recognize strengths and weaknesses and playing to those are what I would say are, make for a really good team. There's 2 freshmen that are practicing with the JV and varsity, but I would be surprised if they saw varsity minutes this year. But they're 2 very talented freshmen, Dean Devaney and Sam Jackson. Sophomores, there's a few that could factor into the mix and have in the preseason. Drew Dalzell is a guard who can shoot the ball a little bit. He's small, so he needs to be a little tougher when he has the ball. He needs to be a little faster, work a little harder than everybody else out in the court if he's going to play, because he's just limited physically. Matt McLaughlin, who I didn't know much about. I heard from Coach Feld that he's really quick and he's got a lot of guts and a lot of heart. He's not afraid to get after it. He sort of stood out a little bit in our last scrimmage on the varsity level. He was one of the very few that wasn't intimidated. He was, willing to step in, take a charge. He was quick enough to go get a couple steals. So he'll factor in more than I had expected. And then Cleva, who he got hurt after the first game, so I only got to see him maybe 4 or 5 minutes in the varsity game. But he could possibly factor in. Yes.
What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show of all time or right now?
Of all time.
Wow, gotta be hard pressed not to say Seinfeld or Cheers. I know that's probably way outdated to you guys, but two great ones. Now, the only things I really watch regularly, Dexter. You guys familiar with that? I like Dexter. Used to love Entourage, and I definitely got sucked into through my wife and kids The Voice this year. I'm not a big reality guy, but I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Atticus? Good.
Yes,
You think that Ted will recover fully after the first strike?
I think so. Yesterday was the first day he went live, and he looked good. He looked good. He didn't look out of shape. He didn't. His game is, he can shoot the ball a little bit, but his game is not hanging out around the perimeter. His game is getting to the rim. He's surprisingly athletic. Like, if you didn't know, you just saw him walking around. I mean, I don't know what you guys would expect on the court, but he gets up. If you've seen him play or played pickup with him, he has no problem dunking the ball. And even though he's right-handed, he jumps for whatever reason. He explodes off his right foot, which is the foot he hurt, to go up left-handed. It's kind of odd that way, but he relies on playing athletic and getting to the hole. So that was definitely a huge concern of mine. Not to mention the fact he's probably our best perimeter defender. But yesterday, I know it's only one day, I don't want to get too excited, but he looked very good, very strong. He looked like he hadn't really missed much, other than maybe some timing on the plays, where to go on a couple plays. But I expect that, if things don't go well on Friday, not that I'm thinking they won't or whatever, it's not because of his injury. I think he's fine. Dio said he's 100%. Yes. Either one, yes.
How do you determine your starting five, and does it change depending on matchups?
I don't think it's going to change too much depending on matchups. Not even most coaches, I guess. Some coaches will say, everyone has the exact same opportunity to start the year and all that. And to be honest, I think those coaches either didn't have an off-season program or they're lying. I don't know. You see in the spring who's coming to lift and work out in the